Oh, hey, man. Oh. Are you alright?
Greetings, bienvenue, come on in, sit on down. I recently went camping, and between the claw marks found outside my cabin door every morning, the constant tapping on the window, and the words flowing out of the forest themselves seemingly whispering my own name, I started to think about cryptids, monsters, creatures, urban legends, things of that sort. Only thing is, I'm kind of tapped out when it comes to the subject of those matters. I mean, I've done a ton of videos already. So, I decided I would leave it up to you. I went into our Discord and dropped a contest where you were able to design Pokemon based around different urban legends, myths, and monsters. And given those, I would then pick 5 that I would turn into a video where I draw them in my own style. And I do have to say, you guys did not disappoint. So, without much further ado, let's hop into today's video. Hi, I'm the Thesterninator, but my friends call me Stern. Welcome to the channel. While you're here, don't forget to drop down below, like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff that makes me and YouTube happy, and let's hop right into the video. I found when going into this experiment that things got difficult really quickly. With well over 50 submissions just through our Discord, I found that whittling down to 5 was a chore on its own, because you guys are insanely talented. We had some people who were incredible artists, others who were great concept designers, and others who just wrote amazing stories for why this Pokemon would exist. So I went in and kind of did my best, cheating a little bit of the way through, which we'll find in a little bit here, but first off, I wanted to focus on GothFox, a user over on our Discord. I'll have all of the links down below where you can find these people when links were provided, but GothFox did an amazing job bringing up this character based on the Ohio Grassman. As much as I could try and describe this character who I've never really studied into, I'll go ahead and let GothFox describe it in their own words. From the lands of Oyo, the small grass Grassman are little bush Pokemon who live in the forests and parks around the region. It's said that one of these singular stage Pokemon stumbled into something that caused them to evolve into a giant monster of a mon. Based on the Ohio's version of Bigfoot, Grassman. It's a grass normal, and like Carbink, they have a mythical relative that would be much bigger and have a slightly more human shape. I gave them big feet for obvious reasons and thought it would be funny to make the shiny look like a Tangela. No idea on stats other than a higher defense and speed, since Grassman is a fast guy and is probably pretty sturdy. So I played into that idea a lot with this design, really focusing on streamlining some of the context here. Whereas characters like Tangela were allowed to be a little bit more complex in their design in previous generations, it feels like in modern interpretations of Pokemon, things are a lot smoother, rounder, and cuter. So I went into that, really breaking down the grass that builds up this Pokemon into something that felt a little bit more simplistic, and I'm hoping that it works really well. I'm sure GothFox will let me know if it doesn't. They're a person who's very active on the Discord, and if you want to be a part of conversations like this, you should consider joining. The link's down in the description, and we have a great community there. So going into the design, I knew that I wanted to streamline this grass, but the eyes I really wanted to play with. In GothFox's initial design of the character, those eyes are piercing and wild, and I really wanted to play into that context for this look. So I played around with different shapes and how I could transform this into something more akin to my style with their design in mind, and made something that feels off-putting while still having a cute aura to it. And of course, those cute little feet that even GothFox referenced in here, I gave them big feet for obvious reasons. I of course knew that this had to be a key point of the design, so I have this little thing running about in this fun little pose that makes it feel like they just scamper throughout the forest. Grassman, the elusive Pokemon. They hide themselves away when trainers and more dangerous Pokemon appear, making themselves look like no more than a small shrub. Legends have been told that under the right circumstances, one may evolve into a powerful and mythical creature. While Grassman is admittedly hyper cute, and I love all of the little aspects to it, this next Pokemon goes in a very different direction. It's a really fun design brought to us by Saiba Shadow, who you can find at artstation.com/SaibaProductions. Again, link down in the description for these amazing and talented artists and concept designers. But this one brings the intimidation factor up to 11. When I said base these on urban legends, monsters, myths, that type of thing, I never anticipated that we'd have something fully based on just the devil, and I dig that. Even further, Saiba goes and says it's not just the devil, but it's based on a very interesting and specific story about this creature being found. I'll go ahead and let them explain it in their own words. Beelzeboon is based on a myth from Cape Town where retired Dutch pirate Jan van Hunks, while he is out smoking, he comes across a stranger and engages in a smoking contest and wins, only to find out that the stranger is the devil, and the smoke having coating table mountains and clouds. I based Beelzebon. This next Pokemon goes the complete opposite direction. While we had a cute little guy for the first Pokemon with Goth Fox's design, this one goes into that heavy intimidation factor that I absolutely love to see in Pokemon. Saiba Shadow did an amazing job writing up this character as well as giving us some phenomenal art. You can find them at artstation.com/cyberproductions, and that'll be down in the description. But I'll go ahead and let them explain this Pokemon in their own words. Beelzeboon is based on a myth from Cape Town where retired Dutch pirate Jan van Hunks, while he is out smoking, he comes across a stranger and engages in a smoking contest and wins, only to find out that this stranger is the devil, and the smoke, having coated Table Mountain in clouds, is wafting. I based Beelzeboon off the concept of the contest. While the Chakma baboon does not live on Table Mountain, it is a resident of the Cape. The etymology of the name is Beelzeboon, a reference to Beelzebub and baboon. We'll get into the Pokédex, which Saiba Shadows went ahead and wrote us a full entry for in just a moment, but some of the design decisions they brought into play in their description here. Pokemon often steer away from imagery that evokes the actual devil. They made this decision with Sock and Throw to get rid of their horns, essentially pivoting from Oni to men. I tried to preserve the baboon aspect. We don't have enough spindly monkeys in Pokemon. I took inspiration from Mandrill for the face patterns and gave Beelzeboon's stylized eyebrows to represent horns. Some of my earlier designs had a spiked tail, but that wasn't evoking the myth for me, so I replaced it with a plume of smoke. The yellow in the stone on Beelzeboon's rocks is pyrite, a reactive compound that when it oxidizes, smokes. I love it. I love it, Saiba. This is phenomenal. So much detail and so much thought going into each aspect of the design. So, without much further ado, let's check out the full stats and breakdown of this guy. Beelzeboon, the smoking Pokemon. Beelzeboon and Chakmite roam mountainous areas. Most young trainers will mistake them for fire types due to the pyrite deposits on their bodies. The pyrite begins to smoke more intensely, and angrier Beelzeboon becomes. It is said that a village mistook a mountain for a volcano due to the high amount of Beelzeboon in the area. This next Pokemon was brought to us by Shizugonesis, or the Thesterninator on Discord. You had to have me say that name, right? This is what the whole setup was for, isn't it? It's based on a story that I'll go ahead and let this user explain in their own words as they put in the description for this contest. So Sutin and Tuitin is one of the Vietnamese folklores about how the water attacks the land in aggressive tone, basically how invaders try to take us down in the old times. And it's about two men, which are the story's name, wanting to marry a princess. But because of their talents being undecidable, the king ordered the men to bring one pair each of 9 tusk elephants, 9 main horses, and the main Pokemon that was chosen for this design, 9 heel chickens, mixed with a phoenix for this design. I dig it. I love the idea that it is a fire chicken that has these different elements to it, including these spurs across the back of the legs that I admittedly forgot about when doing the main design and had to go in and kind of add as we were finishing up the line work. I love that it's a fire chicken bird type of creature, but doesn't evoke Moltres or Blaziken in any way. It feels like its own Pokemon, and even further, it feels like a Pokemon that could actually exist. I'm definitely getting a lot of the myths that we see across European folklore and American folklore brought into this design, intentional or not. I know that across the world there are a ton of really amazing stories of monsters and myths, but it's always so cool to see how stuff ties in one to another and how these stories are able to go across oceans to create these even grander type of folktales. Chiquilin, the flame bird Pokemon. Often mistaken for comets when streaking across the night sky, this Pokemon is quick and elusive, stealing away in abandoned mines and caverns. As they grow, the fiery plumage atop their head grows in heat and fury, with the oldest of the species making some caves unexplorable. Now, while I said that I've done a lot of these videos before and tackled a lot of different Pokemon, one that I believe I've tackled in videos before but honestly can't remember was the Loch Ness Monster. That being said, that did not shy me away from user demonic possession's design for this Loch Ness creature. I kind of went in thinking to myself, well, I don't want to do something that I've already done, but the design for this Pokemon was so cool that I realized I kind of have to throw my own rule away. I'll go ahead and let Demonic Possession describe this Pokemon as they did in the write-up for the contest. This Pokemon is Lakeness, the lake myth Pokemon. Many believe that this Pokemon doesn't exist, but the legend says that it lives in the deepest lake in every region. But most of the people who said to see it are hotel owners of the area. It's a water dragon type. I just want to say that I really like your content and hope you will continue to make an amazing art. Oh, thank you, Demonic Possession. That's awesome to hear. So looking at this design and the idea of hotel owners being the ones to quote-unquote see this Pokemon really gives me that vibe of the actual Loch Ness Monster, that it's become such a touristy type of creature that people quote-unquote see it, or it's been spotted nearby, so that you can sell more tickets to events or sell more rooms in your hotel. I love the story and how it envelops into this whole concept. Plus, having a really cool design like this doesn't hurt your chances either. Lakeness, the silent swimmer Pokemon. Areas where this Pokemon have been spotted often boom with tourists as businesses capitalize on its sightings. That said, its existence cannot be ruled out, as evidence of it lurking in the trenches of various lakes across numerous regions have been reported. This next design is by TonyG20 over on the Discord and is spectacular. I dig the concept here so much, and I believe that it is based on the Slide Rock Bolter, a creature known to run down mountains like a big land whale, eating everything below it and appearing very much just like a rock fall. The character's name is Biscorchin, and I love all of the detail that goes into this. I would love to talk more about it, but I'm gonna go ahead and let TonyG20 explain for themselves. The Mountain Pirate Pokemon. It's a fire ground type. These Pokemon were once believed to have caused landslides to trap their prey, so that they could get them out later. But upon more recent reports, it turns out that this is merely a byproduct of overeating, their favorite food source of sulfur. These Pokemon will follow any caravans that are carrying any explosive compounds like gunpowder or raw sulfur, due to the strong scent that they give off, and it appears to be a favorite snack amongst the species. So much so that caravans would pay a sulfur tax just to pass through the mountain a pack of Biscorchin and its previous stages call home. This Mon is the fire starter of this person's region, and they've been working on it for over a year now. It's based on a mix of ancient creatures like whales and Basilisauruses, and cryptids like the western US of the Slide Rock Bolter. And as its species name suggests, they're also pirate-based, hence the hair looking like a sail on its back, and also the front of its body looking like a captain's hat. Even its snout looks like a blown out cannon, and taking all of that into account for this design, I knew, yeah, this absolutely has to be something that I work on today. I went in and actually did a drawing for this 3 different times because I wasn't happy with the way that it was turning out the first 2, and I really became attached to this design. So thank you, TonyG20, for submitting this because it's phenomenal. I would love to do more contests like this, but I have to hear back from you guys down in the comments and over on the Discord. Like I said, we had a ton of people show up for this type of thing, and it's not something that I typically do, but it was a ton of fun, and I really got to interact with you guys in the community over it, so thank you so much. Biscorchin, the mountain pirate Pokemon. Reports have been made of rock slides and cave-ins due to this Pokemon's feeding habits, with many travelers carrying snacks in effort to appease it. Vast areas of wilderness are left not modernized, as the explosives needed to begin construction often are what stir this Pokemon awake. So who is your favorite, who are you adding onto the team, and what keeps you from wandering into the woods each night? Let me know down in the comments below. While you're there, consider stopping by the description where you can support the channel in a number of different ways. Some of our higher tier Patreon supporters, as they currently stand, are Otuser, Topaz, Mario Panita, Dan Hassel, Chompy Ketchen, Kobo4231, Elandriel Sky, Yuja Sakaki, Drake Null, Jeremy Sunday, Justin Grenier, Siren Shadows, Kaylin Cat, Stix TV, and Dan Bush. Thank you guys so much for your support. And if you want to have your name shout out at the end of videos like this, as well as get early access to videos, consider becoming a YouTube member. Some of our current YouTube members are Koi Pond, Siren Shadows, Sean Williams, Johnny Spark, Moxie, The Silver Crescent, Shell Racer 8683, Echo Arashi, Reggie Hustle Jr., Liam Wood, Zed Ravenmore, Somni Stars, Kaylin Cat, Crimbo McSwizzle, and a big thank you and welcome to our newest YouTube member, that being Nigel Winslow. Thank you guys again for everything you do in allowing this channel to exist, and continue keeping an ear out for things whispering your name or mine, because I've been home for a bit, but I keep hearing them, so I don't know. I'm hoping it's just a medical condition or something that desperately needs to be checked out. That's kind of my best case scenario, so it sounds like you know where to find me, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!